know Jezebel. You can go to 1st and 2nd Kings. It's going to lay out there for you.
Right.
But to put it into a quicker summary, Jezebel was a Phoenician princess in the 9th century who married Prince Ahab, which he was the prince of Israel. Jezebel, her name Jezebel means chaste, free from carnal connection. And she was classified as a licentious woman, meaning that she had no legal or moral restraints, especially as she disregarded rules and regulations when it came for sexual advances. And only abiding or detailing by her own rules, laws, and regulations. She was also very active in serving the gods of the pagans, Baal and Ashtaroth. And she came where her mother and father were kings and queens, and they looked at God at this time like God was secondary, like God was really nothing, because they had created a pagan society who really Jezebel was I like to call her Miss Free for All. Now you have to understand, she had no boundaries while serving her pagan gods. Nothing and nobody was important to her than her. I'm still on Masks. Ahab builds a temple to the sun god, and he built it in the heart of Samaria. There were 450 priests that sat in the shrine that were built for the shrine, but only 400 lived in it. So now Jezebel is over the 400. A place that she made for them erect. But Ahab's married to Jezebel. You got to understand now, everything went on in Jezebel's shrine. Everything. As everything. She wore little flimsy, thin clothing with nothing else up under it. She was all right. It was okay for her to be bisexual. It was all right for her to do all of the quote unquote pornographical things the industry is showing now. She's been in it. Right. She found herself laying around prostitutes and those type of women. And when she began to do that, she began to build a reputation. Now here comes Ahab. Ahab he didn't marry Jezebel because he was in love with her. Ahab done fell in love with her by the way she looked. Because they said she was beautiful. So I'm figuring along with the beauty, she had to be fine. Right. Because it almost ran him crazy. Right. So you got to understand that before she got the beauty. One of the main issues back then, they loved makeup. Makeup is a mask. It hides. Yes. It hides. It covers. Makeup and jewelry covers. It brings a whole new element to one's body, to one's appearance. Now you have to understand that the makeup was to enhance one's beauty. It was made to better enhance the qualifications of the less fortunate. And so therefore, the makeup, and they had it caked on too. I can't. It was caked. They had it caked back then. Yeah. Because you got to understand, back then, if something had to be covered up. And if you were stained, they gave you oils and myrrhs and ointments to, they would wipe you down, because that would kill the body sin. It would cover the stain. Right. Certain animal fats that they would use had this sweet, winey smell to it. They would use the fat of it. There were ointments made. When Jesus was preparing for the Last Supper, one of the women of God began to use the ointment, and she began to wash his feet and dry it with her hair. And that was the ointment. That was the same ointment that was in the alabaster box. God help me. But I'll get to that in a minute. But Jezebel here, she made herself just beautiful. She was radiant. She was just an eye to behold, and it said that in the writings and in the study of Jezebel, she was a cold-blooded killer. She hated prophets. She despised Ahab. The Bible even labeled Ahab as a weak-backed man. Jelly-back. Jelly-back. Jezebel, in marrying Ahab, well, they ruled as king and queen. She convinced him, there's that spirit of persuasion again. She convinced him to build a shrine. Then she turns and convinces him to follow Baal and Ashtoreth. So now what you're dealing with here, watch this here. Now watch this here. He fell in love with Jezebel because of her beauty and her body type and the way she was forcefully in conversation. Meaning she was aggressive in her conversation. She was dominant. That turned him on. That made him feel all kind of ways. So he was like, man, I got to do it. So he marries her. So watch this. Jezebel's masks were actually her beauty, her makeup, and the mask is used to cover up or to enhance one's beauty, facial features. Perfume covers natural body smells. Now you got to understand here, when Jesus died,
Yes, they did.
they had to prep and groom Jesus and put the oils on him because there was no mortuaries back then. When Lazarus died, they oiled him up and had him smelling good and wrapped him in a cocoon. Because the oils at this time not only cut the smell or mask, but it preserved the body. Golly. We always masking something. We always masking something. Some of us ain't got that longer hair, so we mask it with a
Come on.
I can't.
Yeah, to enhance it. Lord forgive me for that. Amen. Jezebel is showing her mask. Watch this. And I'm going to try to run down through them. She was a master manipulator. Mask 1.
There you go.
She was a master manipulator. And a master manipulator is one who accurately controls one's thoughts and mental states and their emotions. Make you believe the lie that they telling you. That was one of her masks. Mask 2. Mask 2 is that Jezebel was contentious. And that word contentious means she was full of strife. And she thrived in opposition.
Come on now. Come on now.
If I say, honey, we going to the store, I ain't going till I'm ready. Why are you so contented? Okay. Watch this. She was contentious against any and everything, and she was intentionally meant to be difficult.